on higher beams, chilling with my high team, and I'm chasing my dreams, and I'm chasing my dreams, and I'm chasing my.
Hey, Wendy. All right. So I just sent the model a link to the stream if he wants to check it out a little bit while we paint his face. I'm gonna add some medium to my cup. Mm-hmm.
Trap House Entertainment. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed, and I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high.
Yo, what up, bro?
And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good piece right here, man.
And I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team. And I'm chasing my dreams.
So Wendy, that's the model right there. Mr. Lewis is this very handsome young gentleman I'm painting right now.
I'm a Gemini, so I'm co-sign. Read a horoscope, Benny's horse line. These niggas weak and they showing signs. They so sim and so blind. I had her once, I don't want her back. I've been a dick like Cumberbatch, and I'm always chasing another bag. Pull out the chopper, play freeze tag. I'll turn your homie to a hashtag. You in the house on a mouse pad. You lack passion, I blow gas. You lack action, I show that. You so trash, that's no cap. I'm where the pros at. You need pros at. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed, and I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team, and I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams, and I'm chasing my mind. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed, and I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team, and I'm chasing my dreams.
I always try to work around the eyes first. Oh, Measles, what's good, bro?
New politics make your top spin. Go ahead first, get tossed in, get lost in the haystack. Been chasing dreams since way back, still dreaming about that Maybach. Success is the best payback. Don't say jack, just keep moving. Don't look back, just keep shooting. Got a game plan that's foolproof, and the satisfaction is so soothing. When you set goals and you blow through them deadlines is so useless. The soul chooses to the high bruises. Don't break, just bend and stay fluid. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed, and I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team, and I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams, and I'm chasing my mind. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed, and I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team, and I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams, and I'm chasing my mind.
Uh-oh, what are you talking about, Mizu? What happened? What you find at the bottom of the rabbit hole?
And I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team, and I'm chasing my dreams.
Some of the rabbit holes is, hey man, they take you to weird places.
If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed, and I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team, and I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams, and I'm chasing my mind.
The craziest thing about the rabbit hole is you don't even mean to be doing that shit sometimes, yo. Quantum mechanics reveals the scientific reason for God's omnipresence. God is everywhere and is in everything. There has to be a thought behind anything, which a thought has to come from a consciousness.
And I'm chasing my dreams, and I'm chasing my dreams, and I'm chasing my mind. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed, and I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team, and I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams, and I'm chasing my mind. My whole aura is a whole vibe. Got no ego, just more drive. I'm a Gemini, so I'm co-sign. Read a horoscope, Benny's horse line. These niggas weak and they showing signs. They so sim and so blind. I had her once, I don't want her back. I've been a dick like Cumberbatch, and I'm always chasing another bag. Pull out the chopper, play freeze tag. I'll turn your homie to a hashtag. You in the house on a mouse pad. You lack passion, I blow gas. You lack action, I show that. You so trash, that's no cap. I'm where the pros at. You need pros at. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed, and I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team, and I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams, and I'm chasing my mind. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed, and I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team, and I'm chasing my dreams.
And I'm chasing my dreams. I'm chasing my mind.
My accomplishments are astonishing. I use common sense when I'm locked in. New politics make you top spin. Go head first, get tossed in, get lost in the haystack. Been chasing dreams since way back. Still dreaming about that Maybach. Success is the best payback. Don't say jack, just keep moving. Don't look back, just keep shooting. Got a game plan that's foolproof. The satisfaction is so soothing. When you set goals and you blow through them deadlines is so useless. It's so chooses the high bruises. Don't break, just bend and stay blue. If you wanna find me, you can check my life.
Hold on, I'm trying to get the. All right, camera's kind of in my way a little bit from the iPad. All right, that's better.
And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my mind. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed. And I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my mind. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed. And I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my mind. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed. And I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my mind.
A little obsessed with this new song right now. This thing is so nice sounding. Check that live stream.
Moving at a high speed. And I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team.
Chilling with my team.
And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my mind. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed. And I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my mind. My whole aura is a whole vibe. Got no ego, just more drive. I'm a Gemini, so I'm co-sign. Read a horoscope, Benny's horse line. These niggas weak and they showing signs. They so sim and so blind. I had her once, I don't want her back. I've been a dick like Cumberbatch, and I'm always chasing another bitch. Play freeze tag. I'll turn your homie to a hashtag. You in the house on a mouse pad. You lack passion, I blow gas. You lack action, I show that. You so trash, that's no cap. I'm where the pros at. You need pros at. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed. And I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my mind. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed. And I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my mind. My accomplishments are astonishing. I use common sense when I'm locked in. New politics make you top spin. Go head first, get tossed in, get lost in the haystack. Been chasing dreams since way back. Still dreaming about that Maybach. Success is the best payback. Don't say jack, just keep moving. Don't look back, just keep shooting. Got a game plan that's foolproof. And the satisfaction is so soothing. When you set goals and you blow through them deadlines is so useless. The soul chooses the high bruises. Don't break, just bend and stay fluid. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed. And I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my mind. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed. And I keep on high beams. chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed. And I keep on high beats. Chilling with my high team. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed. And I keep on high beams. Chilling with my high team. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my dreams. And I'm chasing my.
All right, I'm gonna run it back one more time, then I might let it pause for a little minute, take a little break from it for a minute. I've been listening to this song all morning mostly. Like I mentioned in the other stream, the building stream, I did try to listen to that Playboy Cardi shit. It's fucking trash as hell, yo. Trash ass music.
Trap House Entertainment. If you wanna find me, you can check my live stream. Moving at a high speed.
Hold on, what did it say right here? I guess a group of AI simulators that have proven the universe is conscious itself. That's what I've always been saying. So shout out to the universe. You know, the universe is an organism, which means that the organism itself may be a part of a larger organism. The universe is definitely a thinking entity, the cosmos. And at the same time, does the supreme consciousness really give a fuck about us as individuals? You know, you love your body and you don't want your body to be inflicted with harm or pain or suffering or anything like that. But do you care about like every individual hair, like every strand of hair that's on your body? Like if I pluck, it don't even gotta come from your head, like the back of your arm. If I pluck one hair from the back of your arm and that hair is made up of trillions of cells, do you care about each one of those individual cells that make up that single strand of hair that was plucked from a single hair follicle that actually didn't cause you very much pain at all? I doubt if we care about the smallest individual components of ourselves like that. And I'll look at the universe in the same as it is a large thinking being, but does it actually care or have a direct influence on our daily lives as small, almost insignificant beings here? You know? Why would the supreme consciousness give any fucks about us? Has always been my big question. Hmm. Tapping into the underlying code of the universe. If the universe is coded, then that means that this is a simulation. And if this is a simulation and we're not in base reality, then what the fuck is going on here? If this is not base reality, where does base reality actually lie? Can we access it? And if we can't access it, is our existence even significant in the slightest way? Love is the glue that holds everything together. Can I not do this without fucking tangling myself every time? That's the premise of that painting right there. Something from nothing. Something from nothing. Where does it all come from? We've looked up in the endless void since we've gained consciousness and questioned what to be. And where do all of these phenomena extend from? Phenomena. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Mhm.
Hey there. I seem out of the blue, but I was wondering if you might pray with me real quick.
Hermetic axiom ran in these words: Father, Mother, Mind. The Father, Mother, Mind, mortal children. Leon. Not one who is fatherless nor motherless in the universe. Kybalion. Six. Ein paradox. The half-wise, recognizing the comparative unreality of the universe, imagine that they may defy its laws. Vain and presumptuous fools, and they are broken against the rocks and torn asunder by the elements by reason of their folly. The truly wise, knowing the nature of the universe, use law against laws, the higher against the lower. By the art of alchemy, that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, and thus triumph. Free consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings or living, but in using the higher forces against the lower, escaping the pains of the lower planes by vibrating on the higher. Transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master. Leon. Is the paradox of the universe, resulting from the principle of polarity, which manifests when the all begins to create. To it, for it points the difference between half wisdom and wisdom, while to the infinite all, the universe, its laws, its powers, its life, its phenomena, are as things witnessed in the state of meditation or dream. All that is finite, the universe, must be treated as real, and life and action and thought must be based thereupon accordingly, although with an ever understanding of the higher truth, each according to its own plane and laws. To imagine that the universe were indeed reality, then woe to the universe, for there would be no escape from lower to higher. Divineward, then, would the universe become a fixity, and progress would become impossible. And if man, owing to half wisdom, acts and lives and thinks of the universe as merely a dream, akin to his own finite dreams, then indeed does it so become for him, and like a sleepwalker, he stumbles ever around and around in a circle, making no progress and being forced into an awakening, at last by his falling, bruised and bleeding over the natural laws which he ignored. Mind ever on the star, but let your eyes watch over your footsteps, lest you fall into the mire by reason of your upward gaze. The divine paradox, that while the universe is not, still it is. Forever the two poles of truth, the absolute and the relative, pair of half-truths. Hermetists know as the law of paradox is an aspect of the principle of polarity. The Hermetic writings are filled with references to the appearance of the paradox in the consideration of the problems of life and being. Are constantly warning their students against the error of omitting the other side of any question, and their warnings are particularly directed to the problems of the absolute and the relative, like all students of philosophy, and which cause so many to think and act contrary to what is generally known as common sense. And all students to be sure to grasp the divine paradox of the absolute and relative, lest they become entangled in the mire of the half-truth. With this in view, this particular lesson has been written. Read it carefully. The first thought that comes to the thinking man after he realizes the truth that the universe is a mental creation of the all is that the universe and all that it contains is a mere illusion, an unreality, against which idea his instincts revolt. Like all other great truths, must be considered both from the absolute and the relative points of view. Absolute viewpoint, of course, the universe is in the nature of an illusion, a dream, a phantasmagoria, as compared to the all in itself. We recognize this even in our ordinary view, for we speak of the world as a fleeting show that comes and goes, is born and dies, for the element of impermanence and change, and unsubstantiality must ever be connected with the idea of a created universe when it is contrasted with the idea of the all. What may be our beliefs concerning the nature of both? Philosopher, metaphysician, scientist, and theologian all agree upon this idea, and the thought is found in all forms of philosophical thought and religious conceptions, as well as in the theories of the respective schools of metaphysics and theology. The Hermetic teachings do not preach the unsubstantiality of the universe in any stronger terms than those more familiar to you. Their presentation of the subject may seem somewhat more startling, Anything that has a beginning and an end must be, in a sense, unreal and untrue. The universe comes under the rule in all schools of thought. Absolute point of view, there is nothing real except the all, no matter what terms we may use in thinking of or discussing the subject. Whether the universe be created of matter, or whether it be a mental creation in the mind of the all, it is unsubstantial, not enduring, a thing of time, space, and change. To realize this fact thoroughly, before you pass judgment on the Hermetic conception of the mental nature of the universe, think over any and all of the other conceptions, and see whether this be not true of them. But the absolute point of view shows merely one side of the picture. The other side is the relative one. Absolute truth has been defined as things as the mind of God knows them, while relative truth is things as the highest reason of man understands them. And so, while to the all the universe must be unreal and illusionary, be more result of meditation, nevertheless, to the finite minds forming a part of that universe and viewing it through mortal faculties, the universe is very real and must be so considered. In recognizing the absolute view, we must not make the mistake of ignoring or denying the facts and phenomena of the universe as they present themselves to our mortal faculties. We are not the all, remember. Familiar illustrations. We all recognize the fact that matter exists to our senses, or badly if we do not. Even our finite minds understand the scientific dictum that there is no such thing as matter from a scientific point of view. We call matter is held to be merely an aggregation of atoms. Atoms themselves are merely a grouping of units of force called electrons or ions, operating and in constant circular motion. Kick a stone and we feel the impact. To be real, notwithstanding that we know it to be merely what we have stated above. Or that our foot, which feels the impact by means of our brains, is likewise matter, so constituted of electrons. Matter, so are our brains. At the best, if it were not by reason of our mind, no, the foot or stone at all. Then again, the ideal of the artist or sculptor, which he is endeavoring to reproduce in stone or on canvas, seems very real to him. Do the characters in the mind of the author or dramatist to express so that others may recognize them? Be true in the case of our finite minds. Be the degree of reality in the mental images created in the mind of the infinite. Friends, the universe of mentality is very real indeed. The only one we can ever know, though we rise from plane to plane, higher and higher in it. Know it otherwise, but actual experience. The all itself. True that the higher we rise in the scale, the nearer to the mind of the Father we reach. Our apparent becomes the illusory nature of finite things, but not until the all finally withdraws us into itself and actually vanish. Oh, we need not dwell upon the feature of illusion. Rather, let us, recognizing the real nature of the universe, seek to understand its mental laws and endeavor to use them to the best effect in our upward progress through life, as we travel from plane to plane of being. Laws of the universe are nonetheless iron laws because of the mental nature, except the all are bound by them. The infinite mind of the all is real in a degree second only to that reality itself, which is vested in the nature of the all. So, do not feel insecure or afraid. We are all held firmly in the finite mind of the all, and there is naught to hurt us or for us to fear. There is no power outside of the all to affect us. We may rest calm and secure. World of comfort and security in this realization when once attained. Calm and peaceful do we sleep, rocked in the cradle of the deep. resting safely on the bosom of the ocean of infinite mind, which is the all. All, indeed, do we live and move and have our being. There is nonetheless matter to us. Dwell on the plane of matter. We know it to be merely an aggregation of electrons or particles of force vibrating rapidly and gyrating around each other in the formations of atoms. The atoms in turn vibrating and gyrating, forming molecules, which latter in turn form larger masses of matter. Matter become less matter when we follow the inquiry still further and learn from the Hermetic teachings that the force, of which the electrons are but units, is merely a manifestation of the mind of the all, and like all else in the universe, is purely mental in its nature. While on the plane of matter, we must recognize its phenomena. We may control matter, as all masters of higher or lesser degree do, but we do so by applying the higher forces. It's a folly when we attempt to deny the existence of matter in the relative aspect. Deny its mastery over us, and rightly so, but we should not attempt to ignore it in its relative aspect, so long as we dwell upon its plane. Nor do the laws of nature become less constant or effective when we know them, likewise to be merely mental creations, are in full effect on the various planes. Overcome the lower laws by applying the still higher ones, and in this way only. We cannot escape law or rise above it entirely. Nothing but the all can escape law, as the all is law itself, from which all laws emerge. Advanced masters may acquire the powers usually attributed to the gods of men, and there are countless ranks of being in the great hierarchy of life, whose being and power transcends even that of the highest masters among men to a degree unthinkable by mortals. But even the highest master and the highest being must bow to the law and be as nothing in the eye of the all, so that if even these highest beings, whose powers exceed even those attributed by men to their gods, if these are bound by and are subservient to law, imagine the presumption of mortal men of our race and grade, when he dares to consider the laws of nature as unreal, visionary, and illusory, because he happens to be able to grasp the truth that the laws are mental in nature and simply mental creations of the all. Laws which the all intends to be governing laws are not to be defied or argued away. So long as the universe endures, will they endure. For the universe exists by virtue of these laws, which form its framework and which hold it together. The Hermetic principle of mentalism, while explaining the true nature of the universe upon the principle that all is mental, does not change the scientific conceptions of the universe, life, or evolution. In fact, science merely corroborates the Hermetic teachings. Matter merely teaches that the nature of the universe is mental, while modern science has taught that it is material, or, of late, that it is energy at the last analysis. Hermetic teachings have no fault to find with Herbert Spencer's basic principle, which postulates the existence of an infinite and eternal energy from which all things proceed. The Hermetics recognized in Spencer's philosophy the highest outside statement of the workings of the natural laws that have ever been promulgated, and they believe Spencer to have been a reincarnation of an ancient philosopher who dwelt in ancient Egypt thousands of years ago, and who later incarnated as Heraclitus, a Grecian philosopher who lived BC 500. Heard his statement of the infinite and eternal energy as directly in the line of the Hermetic teachings, always with the addition of their own doctrine that his energy of the mind of the all. The master key of the Hermetic philosophy, the student of Spencer will be able to unlock many doors of the inner philosophical conceptions of the great English philosopher, whose work shows the results of the preparation of his previous incarnations. His teachings regarding evolution and rhythm are in almost perfect agreement with the Hermetic teachings regarding the principle of rhythm. The student of Hermetics need not lay aside any of his cherished scientific views regarding the universe. All he is asked to do is grasp the underlying principle of the all is mind, the universe is mental. In the mind of the all, you will find that the other 6 of the 7 principles will fit into his scientific knowledge and will serve to bring out obscure points and to throw light in dark corners. It's not to be wondered at when we realize the influence of the Hermetic thought of the early philosophers of Greece, upon whose foundations of thought the theories of modern science largely rest. And so the first Hermetic principle, mentalism, is the only great point of difference between modern science and Hermetic students. This is gradually moving toward the Hermetic position in its groping in the dark for a way out of the labyrinth into which it has wandered in its search for reality. The purpose of this lesson is to impress upon the minds of our students that, to all intents and purposes, the universe and its laws and its phenomena are just as real, so far as man is concerned, be under the hypotheses of materialism or energism. For any hypothesis, the universe in its outer aspect is changing, ever flowing and transitory, and therefore devoid of substantiality and reality. Note the other pole of the truth. Under the same hypothesis, we are compelled to act and live. Fleeting things were real and substantial. Difference, always, between the various hypotheses, that under the old views, mental power was ignored as a natural force.
So those are some of the teachings of the Kabbalion, or the Hermetic texts, are derivatives of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, however you say his name. Goes all the way back to, yeah, man, the universe has its own mind and its own thoughts. Let me do a bathroom break, guys, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Did I not click on it just now? I thought I clicked on that. I guess not. What happened?
Make them like they used to. But for 40 years we did. Our handcrafted leather shoes are built to last a lifetime. And now they're 80% off. For over 40 years, we did things the right. Come see us on tour. We're going to be in Bakersfield, San Jose, California, Buffalo, New York, Toledo, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, Liverpool, Birmingham, and London. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Donald Trump, if you see this right here, that's called covid.gov. You just revamped the website. White House just revamped it, and they got all kind of stuff. And so I'm going to show you.
Blown away that this is a thing that you're showing me. I did not know about
this. This is real. I tweeted out. I said the White House just updated covid.gov, and it accuses Fauci of lying and covering up the origin of COVID-19 virus, making up anti-science policies like social distancing, lockdowns, and masks. And of course, people doing their own research knew all of this 4 years ago, which is why we were censored, smeared, and slandered. The completely corrupt corporate media was also responsible and on the forefront of lying, pushing fake science, and slandering the doctors, scientists, and journalists who were telling the truth and exposing the lies. The thing that still blows my mind the most, really does, is that the people who do independent news shows, many of whom I know personally, completely went along with the lies, did Big Pharma and the government's lies, and cowardly refused to use their own critical thinking skills, still are gutless cowards afraid to cover the biggest story of their lives.
I never took one of those COVID vaccines. I don't even take flu shots. I don't get my flu vaccine. That bullshit. I just don't like it. I don't think that any of that shit is really, really necessary. I just really don't. And so I'm not anti-vax, if the measles and polio and all of that shit works, great. If there's a way to give somebody an immunity to a virus or a disease that could be potentially life-threatening, yeah, let's see if we can build up some immunity to, once again, chicken pox or measles or mumps or something like that, better sanitation so that we don't have amoeba dysentery and all this other shit. But oh, I don't like that. God damn it. But yeah, goddamn, I'm not anti-vax. If you want to get vaccinated, man, that's on you. If you see any kind of benefits in it, and your healthcare professional, your family doctor, or whoever says this is a good thing, and I recommend you take it, and you take it, then that's what it is, Me, no thank you. I've just been so good on vaccines my entire life, yo. I've never taken them. My children aren't vaccinated. I get religious exemption forms so that they don't have to be vaccinated to go to public schools. I don't see the benefit in a lot of early childhood vaccinations, especially the ones from birth. I don't think those are really necessary or valid to an extent. One of my best friends recently had his first child, and they did a home birth. They didn't want their baby getting 16 shots as soon as it comes out the womb. They don't want their baby being pumped full of all of these chemical compounds that say, well, it's going to prevent this and it's going to prevent this. And now I think that they're mandating the COVID vaccine with your annual round of shots. So when your kid goes back to school to go to 3rd or 5th grade and they have to go get their shots, the COVID vaccine is going to be one of those shots. And now I heard that they're putting like a HPV vaccine into the round of shots too. So once again, you're getting fucking 20, 30 different compounds put in your body by the time you're fucking 10 years old, just so you can go to school. And it's like, I don't know if that's valid. And then we wonder why, like autism and all these other weird mental issues and degenerative illnesses like Alzheimer's and dementia are cropping up way earlier and way more frequently than they ever have in previous years. And I think vaccines have a cumulative effect. If you get your flu vaccine 1 year, you're fine. If you get your flu vaccine 2 years in a row, you're fine. But if you get your flu vaccine every year and then you get fucking the COVID shot and the SARS shot and the West Nile virus shot and this and that and you're on all these prescriptions that you're not, man, that shit builds up in your body, and I don't think that your health is benefiting overall by putting so much shit in your body. You know what I'm saying? Change your diet, keep your body alkaline, drink more water, and you shall be all right. Get some sunlight and some veggies, you'll be good. I can almost guarantee that. Almost. I'm not a healthcare professional, and I didn't go to school for any of this stuff. So this stream is strictly for entertainment purposes only. But I think I have enough common sense that bears and wild bears and tigers and mammals and marsupials, they live fine. They are just fine without eating fast food and processed food and this and that, without smoking cigarettes and all this shit. You just eat like animals eat, man. Wild bears don't drink soda and really sugary fruit drinks. Motherfuckers drink water. Yeah, motherfuckers just drink some water. Oh my god, I can't imagine that. I caught COVID and flu at the same time. Mm-mm. Never again, ma'am. Never again. If they try to get you with that shit again, tell them, hey, my buddy Travis said. My buddy Travis said I don't need to take this shit. Put this shit in my body. I don't wanna be another face in the crowd. Life is a challenge, but we never back down. I don't wanna be another face in the crowd. Life is a challenge, but we never back down. You can never back down. Ancestors rooting in the background.
These people personally, themselves truth tellers, call themselves rebels, and people who push back against the powerful. And they went along with fascism at the blink of an eye, and they still won't talk about it.
These people are programmed to think fascism is not what it is, so that's how you get that. They don't have principles, they have the flavor that they got programmed into.
They just got afraid. They got afraid of being ostracized, and so they cowered. They still do it, and they still won't look into it. Hey, if you're
If you do an independent news show and you still wear a mask, independent news show is worth shit. And you're worth shit.
See, my friend that was visiting this comic, and he goes, "Yes, I believe in God." And I said, "Yes." I didn't say what I believe in any way. He goes, "Oh, you think there's a man in the sky?" He really steel-manned my argument for me. And then he thinks that Epstein killed himself and there was no lab leak.
Ha!
Wow.
So I go on to say the people in independent news, they push the lies, the slander of people like Joe Rogan, Dr. Robert Malone, RFK Jr., and me with zeal and zero shame, and they will never atone or apologize. One will never forget and will continue to call for accountability and prosecutions, and I hope you do too. So let's look into this is the new website. Origins of COVID-19. This is what it says. If you go to covid.gov, and it has right down there, it says the origin. As the virus possesses a biological characteristic that is not found in nature. Data shows that all COVID-19 cases stem from a single introduction into humans. This runs contrary to previous pandemics where there were multiple spillover events. Wuhan is home to China's foremost SARS research lab, which has a history of conducting gain-of-function research, gene altering and organism supercharging at inadequate biosafety levels. That's what it now says at covid.org or covid.gov. Because Wuhan is the home of China's SARS research lab, that doesn't mean that the bioweapon was created in China. That's racist.
It's probably Raleigh.
It's probably Palestinians who did it, right? They created it.
It's probably the Islamicists.
So here, I'm going to break it down for you. There's a little bit, and it also goes on to say the Wuhan Institute of Virology researchers were sick with COVID-like symptoms in the fall of 2019, which was months before COVID-19 was discovered at the wet market.
Okay.
Markets were totally dry by the time this all came out. By nearly all measures of science, if there was evidence of natural origin, it would have already surfaced. Hasn't.
When Talon watched his own teeth scatter across the academy courtyard, he counted 3 molars as they bounced off the concrete, leaving tiny.
Here they have this whole list of things. I'm going to go through them for you. Origin publication. The proximal origin of SARS-CoV-2 publication that was in Nature or Nature's website. And it was, Matt Orfala got a hold of the emails that showed that it was all rigged. That the scientists who first were sent there to discover where the virus came from, they all said it came from a lab.
Oh, damn.
Fauci said, hey, I'm going to give you a...
Yeah, shingles. That's like chickenpox part 2, right? I forgot exactly what virus causes. Isn't it the chickenpox virus? Shingles is like, I don't know. Hey Siri, what causes shingles?
The answer I found is varicella zoster virus.
Varicella zoster virus. What is that? Siri, what is varicella zoster virus? So varicella zoster virus is herpes virus that causes chickenpox and shingles. The virus, also known as human herpes virus 3, is one of 9 known herpes viruses that can infect humans. So it's kind of like the chickenpox. very, very, very close in similarity to chickenpox. It's a variant of the herpes virus, and I have heard that shit is painful as fuck. Just as painful as chickenpox is. I had chickenpox when I was a kid, so young I can't really remember like the pain or the itchiness. I do have scars on my face though. I got chickenpox scars. I heard back in the day, some parents, our neighborhoods, our communities would like host chickenpox parties. So if a local neighborhood kid contracted it or caught chickenpox, like they would just try to get as many kids in the neighborhood and just go ahead and get it all at the same time, and everybody catch it and everybody get better and get over this shit all at once instead of a long slow outbreak where, oh, these three kids have it, now these four kids have it, now this two kids have it, now this kid has it and he spread it, oh, now these five kids have it. And it's like, no, your kid got chickenpox. Hey, look, my son got chickenpox. If you got any kids who haven't had it yet, they need to come hang out now at the party. Everybody come catch this shit. The pox parties. The pox parties. It's gonna be ice cream and cake, but we're not gonna feel good in a couple of days after this, guys. We're gonna get fevers and we're gonna get the bumps and we're gonna get over this shit. But let's all do it now as a team. Everybody take a couple days out of school, and once again, most adults have already had it, so we're not susceptible. We don't really worry about it. Just let the kids go ahead and fucking suffer together. At least now Timmy can call Johnny and Susie can call Sally and everybody can bitch and complain all together. Oh, I got one on my butt. I got one in between my toes and it's so bad. This is coming from the Johnson family. We will be hosting a pox party this Saturday from noon until 3. If your kids have not had the chicken pox, you are more than welcome to come. Bring the whole family. You can bring a dish, a covered dish if you want, but there will be snacks and goodies here for the kids from noon until 3. About 3 hours should be enough. We're going to have a hugging session where everybody has to hug to make sure, we're going to get this thing and nip it in the bud. The great equalizer. Not the play. I don't want medieval diseases are coming back. The Black Death. Wait, what? I don't want the Black Death to come back. The plague. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Malaria. Hey, people. Victorian era. Keep your shit in the fucking distant past, fool. We got sanitation and running indoor water now. I wash my hands. I don't go to Indian street vendors and order food. That was kind of racist, but really funny at the same time. You talking about Victorian era diseases are rapidly on the rise. No, no, thank you. No, coming back in fashion. Anybody watching The Pit? I have not. Have not heard of this, the pit you speak of.
Morning, Jack.
What are you doing here?
Working. And if you jump on my shift, that's just rude, man.
Hope I'm never one of your patients.
Makes two of us, my friend. Hey, D, what's a good word?
We're fucked. 52 in the waiting room, and it's not even 7.
Robert's working a shift, by the way. I'm almost back today. It's the anniversary of Dr. Adamson's death. Look at this mess.
I'd like a little challenge every now and then. We've got some new faces with us today, huh? Come on over.
I'm so happy to be here.
Talk to me at the end of the day. What's up?
Reception? Let's sit him down.
Welcome to the pit. Let's go save some lives.
Starts on the 80-14
Alex, you've lost a lot of blood. You need to go to surgery right away.
Not now that I'm here. I'm in.
Good. Well done.
That was awesome.
Is it always this busy?
No, it's a lot busier.
There's a nursing shortage across the country.
That is bullshit. If you paid them a living wage, they'd line up to work here.
Other hospitals are managing this crisis. Either step up or step aside. Are you okay?
Why wouldn't I be?
5 years ago today. You can't look at things right.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
No calls. Here?
Welcome, Richards. Are we ready to call this? $150,000 people die every day in the world.
Hey, man. I know Measle will recommend some shit like that. Working in the healthcare hospital system. Grey's Anatomy and Nurse Jackie and I don't know, I think those are their only General Hospital, and I can't think of any more hospital shows right now. Always exciting though, and you will never run out of stories in a hospital. You just won't. That's why they can keep making different shows about it. There's a million stories, and then next year there'll be a million more stories about all the crazy, traumatic, joyful, amazing, deadly stuff that goes on in fucking hospitals. Hate being in there. Hate being in the hospital. But when you are in the hospital, you better have the most competent people. I don't think Brad Pitt does very many TV spots. He's a big screen. If Brad Pitt has ever been on TV, it's a cameo. And he probably owed somebody a favor, or some actor or producer or director begged his ass to be like, yo, we're filming a show tomorrow, man. One episode can just be, a quick cameo. a Brad Pitt cameo on the TV show just set the fucking ratings on fire. It's crazy. Like all those good actors from my childhood, they're like in their fucking 60s now. Denzel like in his 70s. Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, they're in their fucking mid late 60s. Seems like those guys are just gonna be young heartthrobs forever. And time gets to us all. Even if you're a famous actor, time will catch up with you too. Time is coming for all of us. We all gonna get our time. I tell you that. I tell you what. A little too dark right there. Let me try to buff that up a little something. Try to buff it up here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Columbo was the shit, man. You always stay with that that trench coat. You had Columbo. You had Matlock. You had Murder She Wrote, and then Perry Mason. Y'all don't remember Perry Mason. Y'all too young for that shit. Mm. Yo, this is crazy. So I just got a text message from the dispensary, and everything in the dispensary today is at least 20% off, and they have a bunch of stuff that's like 50% off. 50% off. Half? Half off? Good thing I don't need nothing. Good thing I don't need nothing. But if I did, today would be the day of all days to go get it. You know what? I might just get something to put in the stash so that I can have it. Might have to grab me something for the stash. Oh man, your boy over here looking like motherfucking Mr. GQ or something, man. You know what I'm saying? Should have been ugly, been muddy, been bloody. It's my time. Oh, keep grinding now. It's my time. Damn, they're giving out ounces for $110. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The penguin was, you know what? I did not know that. Yo, how come I didn't know that? How come I didn't know my laptop was touchscreen either? I just literally just there was some schmutz on the laptop screen, and I just wiped it off, and the screen started to scroll. I did not know I can scroll my laptop screen with my finger. I really didn't know that. Ooh, some Indian takeaway. Yes, yes, yes. Go eat your food. It's food time. I hope it's delicious. Enjoy. I am in and out of the studio all day today. So this is an hour and a half. So we did 2 hours earlier today, and then I did an hour of building. Well, probably a little bit more than an hour of building the Gundam. I played I played Spider-Man for about an hour. Had some lunch. Now we've been back in here for about an hour and a half. Yeah, this has been a pretty chill Saturday. I already took some stuff out for food prep. I took some beef kielbasa out. Not sure what I'm gonna do with it. I could put that in like a pasta. I might do some pasta with red sauce and beef sausage. I took some turkey wings out. Probably just do my classic turkey wings and rice. And I had a steak in there. And I don't know if it's a sirloin or a Delmonico, but one of them anyway. The date on it is like it needs to be cooked soon, so I just went ahead and took that out. Apparently, I didn't rotate my meat the last time, and yeah, I had a piece of steak that was at the bottom, which really should have been at the top. So now I want to just actually make sure I cook that before it goes bad, get freezer burn or whatever. Mm. Mhm. We have a really nice Indian place I like to go to called Amber. I haven't been there in a while. Last time I went, me and my buddy went out for lunch. We tried to go to our normal go-to spot, but that shit was fucking packed. So it was like, screw it. Indian food is our second choice, which is not a bad option, yo. I love some good Indian food. Shit. The Polly's, yeah, man. Their cuisines are really tasty too. Everybody has their own unique herbs and spices. There's a really good Mediterranean restaurant. Like their stuff, I like the flavors they use. Flavors of the Mediterranean, and they have this one tea. I can't think of the name of it right now, but I've never tasted any drink like that before. It's delicious. Very very unique and distinctive flavor to whatever kind of tea that was. Oh shit! Is it time for another break? What time is it? It's only 2:30. We almost got another 2 hours in. I'm about to take you back, way back in the time.
There you got one of them. And we're gonna get more before the shift is over.
Tier 1 trauma now? More morphine, I'm gonna stop the bleeding.
You'd like to accept it, fine balance.
This designer bag, if you can prove to me that you know your finances.
Well, let's do it.
How many subscriptions do you have?
Probably just Netflix and Spotify.
All right, it's saying you.
He said, "Hey, I'm going to give you $8 or $9 million in research funds," and they all flipped. And they were like, "Oh, no, it came from a wet market." By the way, that article still not retracted by Nature magazine. Look. And it's called The Proximal Origin of SARS-CoV-2, which was used repeatedly by public health officials and the media to discredit the lab leak theory, was prompted by Dr. Fauci to push the preferred narrative that COVID-19 originated in nature. So they're saying Dr. Fauci pushed the lie. They're saying this now at COVID.gov. The gain-of-function research, a lab-related incident involving gain-of-function research, is the most likely the origin of COVID-19. Current government mechanisms for overseeing this dangerous gain-of-function research are incomplete, severely convoluted, and lack global applicability. When Dr. Fauci said to Rand Paul, when he was tested, this is not gain-of-function.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what you're talking
that was
about.
Dr.
I remember
Fauci
that.
lying to Congress.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Blanket pardon.
He said that
So
shit
he can't
so
be
hard
prosecuted
body, like
for
you don't
it.
know what you're talking about. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Someone that looks that much like Pinocchio would turn out to be a liar.
That's
And
crazy.
Still people with YouTube shows who call themselves anti-establishment, independent media truth tellers won't talk about this. They're not going to talk about it. Coward, gutless, and they throw away their critical thinking skills. Purpose.
Well, a lot of them are on SSRIs that are made by these fine pharma companies that help you not feel the evil you do in this world.
They went from being the people who were supposed to be poking holes in the status quo and pointing out where big pharma and the government are criminally lying to you, to repeating the criminal lies and slandering anybody who looked into it. I personally was on the receiving end of that from people who have shows still on YouTube. Like the Young Turks, for instance. I'll just name one, the Young Turks. With MSNBC contracts. Of course, what are you going to get? Big pharma propaganda. Health Alliance, Inc. I can't believe people after they were lied to repeatedly about everything from Russiagate to COVID to masks to the Wuhan virus to lockdowns to the vaccines to the Ukraine war to Joe Biden not being demented. They still go back to those same news organizations that lie about all those things, and they still go back to them for their news and information.
It's supposed to go to Putin.
Right? So EcoHealth, under the leadership of Dr. Peter Daszak, used the United States taxpayer dollars to facilitate dangerous gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China. After the select subcommittee released evidence of EcoHealth violating the terms of its NIH grant, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, which is what RFK is in charge of now, back then, they commenced official department proceedings and suspended all funding to EcoHealth. But new evidence also shows that the Department of Justice has opened an investigation into EcoHealth's pandemic-era activities. Well, that's good. Failures. Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, friend of the show, is now he's in charge. A guy who got COVID right. A guy who was an author of the Great Barrington Declaration, which said you shouldn't do lockdowns. You should only vaccinate the vulnerable. He was slandered. He was immediately slandered by the Atlantic and all the mainstream news media. Head of the NIH.
Wait, the Atlantic, the reliable jobs publication, friend of Elaine?
NIH's procedures for funding and overseeing potentially dangerous research are deficient, unreliable, and pose a serious threat to both public health and national security. Further, the NIH fostered an environment that promoted evading federal record-keeping laws, as seen through the actions of Dr. David Morans and the FOIA, the FOIA lady, Marge Moore. So that was Fauci's #1 assistant, and that was another lady at the NIH who was called the FOIA lady, Marge Moore, who showed people how to evade federal FOIA requests.
That nickname's great. It sounds like you'd see her at like Foxwoods Casino, the FOIA lady.
The FOIA lady.
She's like.
And here we see Anthony Fauci checking his breath before he drops to his knees to give Satan a blowjob. And thanks for a pardon. This is all up at COVID.gov now. This is up too. It says a full and unconditional pardon for any offenses against the United States which may have committed or can pardon from January 1st, 2014. That's what the pardon of Anthony Fauci says. They now the Trump administration has put this up with this picture.
That's just legal argle-bargle, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Remember the reach?
Yeah. So the Department of HHS, Health and Human Services, obstruction. Again, now RFK's in charge of this. See, the Biden administration's HHS engaged in multi-year campaign of delay, confusion, and non-responsiveness in an attempt to obstruct the subcommittee's investigation and hide evidence that could incriminate or embarrass senior public health officials. It appears that HHS even intentionally under-resourced its component that responds to legislative oversight requests. So again, all the people who are screaming about Joe Rogan and Jimmy Dore and Dr. Robert Malone, everybody else who was actually telling the truth, they're not going to be screaming about that they were lied to by their government about it. They're not going to be screaming that they were lied to by Big Pharma. They're not going to be screaming that they were lied to by corporate media. They're just going to try to ignore it.
To be mad about it is fascism, Jimmy.
Echo Health Alliance obstruction. Echo Health President Dr. Peter Daszak obstructed the select subcommittee's investigation by providing publicly available information instructing his staff to reduce the scope and pace of production and doctoring documents before releasing them to the public. Further, Dr. Daszak provided false statements to Congress. People who hate me, Joe Rogan, are never going to be upset at this, at the people in actual power who lied to them about everything that had to do with COVID. They lied about the virus, that they funded the creation of it. They created the virus. Joe Rogan didn't create it. The people who they worship created the virus. Led to lockdowns, which had no science behind them, that led to mask mandates, which had no science behind them, which led to vaccine mandates, which also had anti-science behind them. New York obstruction. Now this is all up at covid.gov. Executive Chamber, held presently by Governor Kathy Hochul, redacted documents, offered numerous illegitimate privilege claims, and withheld thousands of documents without an apparent legal basis to obstruct the select subcommittee's investigation into former Governor Cuomo's pandemic-era failures.
He's running for mayor.
That's right. He's running for office again.
And he's running for mayor.
He's got the experience, Jimmy.
The World Health Organization, the WHO, the response to the COVID-19 pandemic was an abject failure because it caved to pressure from the Chinese Communist Party and placed China's political interests ahead of its international duties. Further, the WHO's newest effort to solve the problems exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic via the Pandemic Treaty may harm the United States. You think? That's one great
thing. The CCP? Not Bill Gates.
I think it was Bill Gates.
The CCP.
Yeah. Thank God Trump, one of the first things he did was withdraw the United States from the WHO.
Good.
That is good.
I hate that they go, because I'm sure the CCP is part of it, but Fauci's part of it. A bunch of people that aren't Chinese are part of this.
Bill Gates.
They're in league with it.
That's right.
So I hate that.
Just quit trying to play China.
Rat 'em out.
So social distancing. The 6 feet apart social distancing recommendation, which shut down schools and small businesses across the country, was arbitrary, and it wasn't based on science. Closed-door testimony, Dr. Fauci testified that the guidance just sort of appeared. I showed you that video. Appeared. It wasn't based on science. Mandates. There was no conclusive evidence that masks effectively protected Americans from COVID-19. In fact, all the evidence went the other way. Public health officials flip-flopped on the efficiency of masks without providing American scientific data, causing a massive uptick in public distrust.
Oh, I thought Putin did that.
Prolonged lockdowns caused immeasurable harm to not only the American economy, but also to the mental and physical health of Americans, which, with a particularly negative effect on younger citizens. Rather than prioritizing the protection of most vulnerable populations, federal and state government policies forced millions of Americans to forego crucial elements of healthy and financially sound life. Oh, like when they put sand in skate parks and they were arresting people surfing.
That's a great podcast topic for the next Gavin Newsom show.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Governor Newsom. Hey.
Hey.
The Newsom shake I do.
Newsom shimmy. I'm looking at the upsides of lockdowns, Kurt. Now millions of people think they are master chefs and can do their own plumbing. That would have never happened. That would have never happened if they were allowed to go outdoors.
Lockpicking lawyer than there were before. That's true.
That's true. Pandemic failures. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's March 25th order, which forced nursing homes to accept COVID-19 positive patients, was medical malpractice. Evidence shows that Mr. Cuomo and his administration worked to cover up tragic aftermath of their policy decisions in an apparent effort to shield themselves from accountability. You remember they gave Hollywood gave Andrew Cuomo an Emmy for his performance during COVID, and I guess because he was acting, because he was lying, and he was doing but then they took it away, not because he was lying and he was wrong about COVID and he did a policy that killed people, but because he got caught doing grab ass.
The way they did Dr. Cosby.
Here it is. Here's how it appears on the website. They have this picture of Andrew Cuomo with a mask in his hand. Evidence suggests Mr. Cuomo knowingly and willingly made false statements to the select subcommittee on numerous occasions about material aspects of New York's COVID-19 nursing home disaster and the ensuing cover-up. The select subcommittee referred Mr. Cuomo to the Department of Justice for criminal prosecution. That never happened. Now let's see what Pam Bondi's going to do.
This is a cool website, but I love how so far everything's on the verge of something big happening.
But nothing's going to happen. Yet,
I got high hopes.
Yeah. This is the final slide. The COVID-19 misinformation. Public health officials often misled the American people through conflicting messaging, knee-jerk reactions, and lack of transparency. Most egregiously, the federal government demonized alternative treatments. Ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, vitamin D, steroids, and disfavored narratives such as the lab leak theory in a shameful effort to coerce and control the American people's health decisions. Efforts failed, the Biden administration resorted to outright censorship, forcing and colluding with the world's largest social media companies to censor all COVID-19 related dissent. And again, all the people I know in independent news are too big of gutless cowards to actually even talk about it. They just pretend it didn't happen. And they pretended it wasn't happening while it was happening.
Use Kayak's Explore tool to see just how far your budget can take you. Reykjavik? Spectacular.
When you look at the world, what do you see?
Well, Kim Iverson did. She got fired off the hill.
Right. So there was Joe Rogan. Mm-hmm. There was this show, and Kim Iverson.
Russell Brand said it.
Who?
Russell Brand.
Oh, and Russell Brand. That's right. Russell Brand. And look what happened to Russell Brand. You think of another show that bothered to cover this stuff? I can't. Think of another show. And this all comes from the House Oversight Report from December 4th, 2024. And that's now when you go to covid.gov, that's what you see, what I just showed you. Not Trump for doing that.
It's very strange to see a thing I like after a thing I don't like so quickly.
Yeah, isn't it? So it's a mixed bag with the Trump administration. Mixed bag.
Oh, Redacted said it.
We're at, Redacted? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Redacted. Oh, Tucker Carlson, but he was still on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the one guy in the corporate media telling the truth. So good on Redacted, good on Tucker Carlson. Oh, you know what? I know Max Blumenthal also.
Yeah.
I'll give it Max Blumenthal.
They put up a good Bukele report on Gray Zone yesterday. It's very good.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You know how it seemed pretty cool at first? It might not be that cool.
It turns out he's not as cool as you think.
It turns out once you get absolute power,
yeah.
They've renewed their emergency powers that he's using like
Yeah.
27 times.
Yeah.
It's not a good sign.
And what Bukali would tell you is like, well, we went from the most dangerous country in the world to the safest. Yeah, but at what price? I get
You're gonna go to Fire Fest in a minute, buddy, because there's such a crypto country that I think the money that he, they promised the money's gonna roll in. Money might be because they're a spare Guantanamo now, and I think that's my guess from when I watch a Max's thing. I haven't finished it, but I'll bet you whatever bonus they're getting for taking prisoners from America, he's gonna need that to prop up whatever the hell he's doing with his, And meanwhile, Malay just pumped and dumped a crypto coin to everybody.
Yeah.
People in America.
I know.
You just hot too in America, by the way. It is dumb coin.
That's the Argentinian president.
Yeah, he's a Chabad convert.
Come see us on tour. We're going to be in Bakersfield, San Jose, California, Buffalo, New York, Toledo, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, Liverpool, Birmingham, and London. Go to jimmygo.com for a link for tickets.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night. All day. Hey, Tim Dillon.
How are you?
I'm much better now that the ladies are back from space.
Thank you for having me. What were they out there, 10 minutes?
Well, it was very profound. I don't know if you've seen Katy Perry talk about it, but she's basically a guru now.
Yeah. What were her findings? That's my question.
Well,
what
she
did
brought
she learn?
Daisy, which is super important. It shows you how quick the flight was. The dead Daisy that's like snipped from its life source was still alive or still vibrant.
Yeah, and it's so
Look at her.
yeah.
Daisy.
Wow.
Look at her nails. So pretty.
Now, so they go up there and they float for like 10 minutes,
at least,
and then they come down.
Let's not minimize this.
No,
Let's
it's a big deal.
Let's celebrate female astronauts.
And because they were
did it.
united.
Because a lot of men astronauts,
Yeah.
they have to go to school.
Right.
They have to learn how to be a pilot
Sure.
first. Then they have to join the Air Force
That's
or
right.
the Navy, and then
Right.
they get appointed by NASA.
That's right.
And then they go to space. You know?
But and there has been, that's the other thing, there has been female astronauts.
Let's not minimize this. Let's not minimize this.
Yeah,
What
like
they
I
did was
think there was a
extraordinary.
bitch stuck on a space station for a few months. That's terribly more impressive.
Let's not minimize this. No, the problem with that story
Yeah.
is that she was rescued by a very awful person who
Okay.
wants to expose fraud and waste.
Yeah. Did Musk rescue her?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't
Oh,
know.
where's that in the news?
Oh, I didn't know
Those
that.
fucking people were stuck. The Boeing jet, the Skyline, whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it is, the Boeing spaceship wasn't working. They couldn't
Right.
fix it.
Interesting. I didn't even know that.
Hey, that looks pretty
And by
good
the
right
way,
here, guys.
Yeah.
Elon
I was just
could have
looking at
rescued
it.
them
You
during
know,
the Biden
check it out.
election. They didn't want to because of his open support for Trump.
We made another 2 hours. This looks pretty dang good so far. Take a picture of it. Let me wipe the schmutz off my camera lens. I put more schmutz on. I think I made my camera lens worse. How is this any of a surprise? It isn't. All the Wuhan lab leak stuff, that shouldn't surprise anybody. All right. Oh man. All right, guys, I'm gonna take another break. Still kind of early, and it's Saturday, so there's always a chance that I could be back up in here this evening. Not sure, but if not, definitely keep a lookout for me early in the morning, or look out for my Twitch stream because I may get back on some video games later. Catch you guys next time. Peace.